How will Mandy react to Steve's boob collection? Will Greg be enough for Joan? And why was Juan eating testicles? To answer this and other important questions, allow me to take us back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to Lawd Lukan. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. The smell of warm 90-day fiancé rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, Mandy saw a glimmering light. My head grew heavy as Jessica grew dim.
I'm gonna snuggle you.
Joan stopped for the night.
Oof.
And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven, or this could be hell.
I see boobs everywhere.
All this and more right here on the Lawd Lukan channel.
You know we eat the nuts, right?
Good day, buenos dias, and annyeonghaseyo to you. Big loves to those who've subscribed, you beautiful people. And pond lily table lamps to the lords and ladies of the Lukan Manor. Just like the fine folks at the Hotel California, my delightful blancmange, our 90-day couples can check out anytime they like, but they can never leave. One moment they're cruising down a highway, soaking in the romance, and the next they're frantically googling fiancé visa requirements because you've got exactly 90 days to get legally hitched or deported. But Juan here has left Cali Columbus for the exotic vistas of Wyoming, and this lady, Jessica. Ugh, these two again. I thought he'd just meet Jessica version 2.0 on a cruise at some point and go about the business of giving thirsty women some decent sex on the beach and a quick fumble on a boat. But no, he's back, they're back, and she's back to make sure she anchors him to her kids. That way he won't run away. But today Jessica is wowing us with her kitchen skills.
I'm doing my best at making them not fully cooked.
Eggs and bananas. That's what you get when you let your 5-year-old into the kitchen and they microwave a bowl full of hideousness that you have to pretend to eat. Oui, on the menu today we have the vomit garnished with the albino turd. What a delight. South American countries, of course, like Puerto Rico, have a version of this but using plantains. And bacon. And actually looks quite nice. But she lives in buttfuck nowhere in Wyoming, place whose most interesting facts include it only has 2 escalators, both in the town of Casper. Those fancy Casper folk. But I think it's just the subtle differences in American cuisine and, sort of everywhere else cuisine. For example, an omelette, as cooked by the majority of Europe and Asia, is a sort of blobby thing with a soft centre. In America, it's sort of more like a pancake, or a floor tile, depending on where you are. So I guess it's sort of a Colombo-American fusion going on. I mean, it's not quite on the level of Art and Myrna's party cheese salad, a la Cooking with Jack.
Delicious tasting.
And it might not be Kay's sort of meaty sort of spaghetti thing. So it's not the worst thing we've ever seen conjured up onto our screens.
David sleeps in bed with us, so that doesn't allow much time to be intimate.
God, I forgot how much I dislike this woman. It might be the inclination in her voice.
In bed with us.
Or it might be that her parenting style of give up, it'll be fine, I'm sure there'll be no long-term side effects of soggy lettuce parenting. But anyway, I'm going to leave that aside for one now because we're currently admiring the culinary delights that Jessica has bestowed upon Juan.
Eggs and banana?
Yeah. Sorry.
Cool.
Even he thinks it's pretty ridiculous and trying not to laugh.
Sorry.
But maybe I'm the silly one for finding it amusing. Clearly a decent banana in your eggs is an aphrodisiac for these two young whippersnappers.
Okay, I don't know how to start.
Yeah, how romantic. She's got all the sexual magnetism of dried cabbage, and he looks like he's about 16. So I think we'll skip the world's least appealing hanky of the pankiest variety.
I'm gonna snuggle you.
I mean, that's just not sexy, is it? Being spoken to like you're 5.
This is better than breakfast.
Couldn't be much worse, frankly. It's not a massively high bar to set. Yeah, sexual intercourse with you is better than scrambled egg and banana. Nice, yes. 45 seconds later, and Juan Pump and Done is a new man.
Oof.
I bet it wasn't really oof, though, was it? It would have been slightly less than mediocre at best. He doesn't have sex appeal, he has mothering appeal. And if his sexual dynamite was a musician, it'd be Donny Osmond. And she'd be Chad Kroger.
I would love to go to bingo.
Oh.
So they toured the main street in Torrington.
Come to Torrington, Wyoming. I invite you guys. You're more than welcome.
That sounds more like a dare or a threat to me. Wyoming might not have Disneyland, but it does have an impressive history of serial killers, including Polly Bartlett. the murderess of Slaughterhouse Gulch, and Charles Starkweather, and his 14-year-old girlfriend, Caroline Fuggett, who are the inspiration for Natural Born Killers. It's also home of the world's stupidest question, which is held by one Jessica from Torrington, Wyoming.
And what about like the cruise? Like, what do you think is going to be the most different from the cruise?
How is this town different from a cruise ship? Well, I mean, slightly less buffalo and uranium mines on a cruise ship.
All about the cruise is drinks and bars and food and, chops.
You know,
Yeah, well, sounds like a right nightmare, huh? You didn't invite us on your boat, though, did you, Juan? You just wanted us to go to Wyoming, didn't you, Juan? You don't like us very much, do you, Juan? But it's us that are wrong, as usual, my beautiful muffin, because Wyoming is just like a cruise ship. Because
I haven't seen one person that I've known as we've been walking down. So what's the difference? No difference.
genius. I mean, I hadn't thought of that. She doesn't know that one guy who walked past somewhere half a mile up the road, so therefore, it's a cruise ship. That's some masterful logic at work there. I hate to point out the fact that Wyoming doesn't pop down to the Caribbean when it gets a bit chilly, but hark, what's this? Is Juan one of us? Does he realize how stupid this all is?
It is not the same thing, and we all know that. Besides her, I guess.
There's hope for you yet, my boy. I don't think he likes her all that much either, because if someone's clipped your wings, they should deal with the healing process with you, not point out that walking was far superior than flying in the first place. Over now to Greg and Joan, and today we get to observe human behavior and sleeping arrangements in the wild. Yes, indeed, and we're here in the suburban bedroom. The lady is comfortable on her half of the bed, and the man is pressed up against the wall in the square foot of bed that is the standard allowance for men. Ugh, check out the sweat patches though. Bet that fan's blasting a fragrance of cheese and chive Pringles around the room. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin Pringles for you.
The best feeling ever that I've ever had.
In his 35 years, he's had no greater experience than to wake up sweaty and squished next to Joan, who he failed to have sex with the night before. Yeah, living the dream. And how long is he planning on wearing that t-shirt for? He's not bothered showering or changing, just got up and thought, yep, that's got a few more days in it. But Joan, who is in coordinating grey, points out that living with his mum is not quite ideal, and they need their own place.
Oh no, baby, it's definitely on top priority, for sure.
Go on then, how about you actually do something about that? Well, I have a feeling that his grey t-shirt will outlive his efforts to find a job. I wonder where he got all that from.
Last night she took a shower.
I know, she takes a lot of showers.
Why?
Yeah, weirdo, being clean. Got to say, Greg looks like he's doing a better job of these eggs. Not a banana in sight. But you do know he definitely didn't wash his hands first. So, I think I'll stick with the coffee, thanks. Thank you. Now, I don't know much about Joan, other than in England, people that are called Joan usually look like this, but she says this.
I'm a director of a non-profit organization.
Ah, the old reality TV non-profit thing, huh? Interesting. Well, she's already got a man who makes non-profit. But what about all that being a director of a business? Well, apart from the fact it's been said that she's a former director, as stated by various tabloids, it turns out it's quite popular to be called Joan and run a non-profit in Uganda. Can't say I see her anywhere, though. This lady was quite close, but the nose and lips are slightly different. In fact, in the whole of the National Bureau for NGOs of Ministry of International Affairs Records, nice name, which is the regulatory body, she does not appear. So you can make of that what you will. What we do know for sure is that she has a good idea.
I want him to man up and get out of his mother's house.
Other good ideas come courtesy of Mandy and Steve. And Mandy is just arriving in his temporary home in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
I already know that Hattiesburg is not going to be what Maddie expects.
Why do people move from one country to another and say, ooh, this isn't quite like where I'm from? Yes, that's probably what's good about it, isn't it? But Steve has decorated her house for his arrival. Balloons and sentimental messages.
But I'm super excited about having him at my house.
Hi. I love it. Yeah, that's heartfelt. Were they out of welcome home? Could you not have just gone with a heart or something? No. Hi. Good job.
I see boobs everywhere, like boobs, boobs, boobs.
Well, why the hell not? Why not have boobs, and boobs everywhere?
Like too many, like...
Alright, now let's not go too crazy. Too many? Now, I don't know about the skills involved with owning a pair of boobs, but I don't think having too many is usually an issue. Unless you're that triple boob woman from Total Recall.
I don't know. Why?
Probably because she can't do hands and faces. They are a bit difficult. From an artist's perspective, she lacks colour theory, her expressive mark making is too uniform and lacks composition, and it's kind of like Rothko attempted to Jenny Saville. But, sorry, that's sort of an art joke.
Little small kitchen. Here's a bathroom.
Did you see that creepy doll, though? Weird, why would you put that in the kitchen? So Mandy checks out the bathroom to see he's got his butt washer.
It's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
Has rugs for your feet.
And sees that Steve's put some rugs out for him. Did she think Muslims just kind of liked rugs? Does she know it's kind of a prayer thing, not an aesthetic choice? In the Islamic culture, an eye, or an evil eye as they call it, is a representation of the harm caused by human envy. Envy, jealousy, totally not foreshadowing. But there is one question that remains. Does he really call his bits and bobs juju?
Where's Juju?
Hey, please.
Interesting. One last trip to see Jessica and Juan. And Juan is getting ready to meet Jessica's friends who, don't really like him very much.
So, baby, how does this look?
Allow me to answer that. Firstly, t-shirt under a short sleeve shirt. Are you 12? Also, he's in pretty good shape, but wears oversized shapeless shirt. Oh, well, there we go. That's much better. It's blue. Just looks like a trainee accountant now. So they go out to meet her friends. Just to make him feel welcome, they put their balls in his mouth.
Cow's balls.
So good. You know we eat the nuts, right?
I think he's not sure if they're talking about him or the cows. But all credit to him, he gives them a go.
It's like,
I mean, it's fine. It tastes like chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But balls aren't the only ones to have their balls chewed this evening, as Megan, who spells her name Megan, I mean really, it's got 5 letters, you'd think she'd get it right, decided to interrogate him about his alleged infidelity. Or sort of, actual infidelity as we already know.
To be off, potentially messing around, just literally shatters my heart,
Couldn't care less, frankly. I dislike this kind of self-important main character syndrome person. No one really cares that you think you matter. I really detest pretty girls from small towns who really think they are the center of the universe. She might be right, but I think Juan is committed to the disappointment that is the relationship with vanilla Jessica, but I just don't like her, and the people I've met who are just like her. I do, however, like how she's made Juan squirm. Bit hot in here suddenly, was it?
I want you to show me how much you love her.
Fuck off, you self-entitled microbe. The only person he has to prove himself to is Jessica, and she's stupid enough to have forgiven him. So McGinn, hate your name, can either forgive him like Jessica do, or just back the fuck off. It really is that simple. Sure, it's good for a friend to stand up like that. I'll accept it. But she's being a total dick about it because she wants to gatekeep her friend and have a feeling of superiority.
It's going great. So great.
Total snack. I hate her so much. She's stoking the fire, scratching at her wounds, smiling to her friend while being poisonous to him. Just because she's not over it doesn't mean that we can't be. Jessica's clearly over it, smiling as they talk, but nasty personality woman just still wants to keep flogging him for it.
Did you sleep with that girl?
I did.
Oh my god, you're never gonna hear the end of it. Gotta say, of course, this dirty little monkey deserves everything he gets for cheating. However, I just dislike her. So, will it be the end of it? Will Greg and Joan get their own place? Will Mandy and Steve get over Boobgate? Will the group be feasting on Juan's oysters next? We'll have to find out very soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you. And I can't thank you enough for the wonderful comments and likes. And I'll be back throughout the week to amuse and confuse. So if you enjoy what I do, then please do like, subscribe, and try one of these delightful offerings. So until we meet again, stay beautiful, love to my 3, and you take care of yourself.
Please subscribe now for our play. Thank you.